Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you're a focused learner looking to finally cut through the noise, ditch the gimmicks, and understand the real, actual strategies behind extraordinary wealth creation, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to absolutely demystify the mindset and the architecture that separates those who just grind from those who literally build empires.
So let's start with a really frustrating question. Why do millions of people work way harder than billionaires, but never actually get rich? I mean, we all see it, right? People doing backbreaking, exhausting physical labor for 10, 12, maybe 14 hours a day, year after year. And yet, they never break out of that cycle. Look, if wealth were just a simple math equation of hours worked multiplied by physical sweat, the hardest workers would absolutely be the wealthiest people on Earth. But they aren't, because there's a fundamental hard limit to pure time-based labor.
Okay, let's dive right into this roadmap. We'll be looking at 1. Hard work versus smart work. 2. Cultivating the billionaire mindset. 3. Mastering the power of leverage. 4. High-income skills and assets. 5. Avoiding common financial mistakes. And finally, number 6, your practical action plan.
All right, section 1, hard work versus smart work, the grand illusion.
You know, hard work without leverage, it's kind of like running on a treadmill. You're sweating buckets, you're exhausted, but you aren't actually going anywhere. It's totally linear. You're just trading your time for money. And the second you stop working, the money stops flowing. Now, there's this massive misconception out there that billionaires just don't work hard. Actually, scratch that. It's a complete myth. They work incredibly hard. But it's what we call smart work. It's combining that relentless hustle with high-impact decision-making, immense leverage, and deep long-term thinking. So they don't ditch the effort. They just redirect it toward high-impact opportunities instead of relying completely on their own personal, unleveraged output. Moving right along to section 2, cultivating the billionaire mindset, thinking like an architect. Okay, before we can even think about building external systems, we have to wire our internal mindset correctly. It comes down to these 5 pillars. Solve valuable problems, think long-term, learn continuously, take calculated risks, and above all else, build systems instead of relying on personal effort. Now, what's really interesting here is that these aren't innate, magical talents you have to be born with. No way. They are deliberate mental frameworks that you can adopt right now, today. Wealthy individuals look at the world and ask, okay, what is a massive problem I can solve for a whole lot of people? Then they build a system to solve it, rather than trying to fix it one by one with their own 2 hands. Think about how much of your day is eaten up by low-value tasks. A massive chunk of it, right? Probably around 80%. Cultivating that billionaire mindset requires aggressive, almost ruthless time protection. You literally have to hunt for that 20% high-impact zone and pour all your energy there, while actively stripping that 80% away from your daily schedule.
And that brings us to the 80-20 principle. Essentially, it's a time management strategy which states that 80% of your overall results come from just 20% of your efforts. Fiercely protecting your time by identifying exactly what can be automated or delegated is your ultimate guardrail here. Honestly, if a task doesn't fall into your high-impact 20%, you've got to find a system, a piece of software, or another person to handle it.
Section 3, mastering the power of leverage, multiplying your effort. I want you to ask yourself right now, how can I decouple my income from the 24 hours in my day? Well, you essentially have 4 main levers. First, tech and AI. Software works around the clock and never asks for a coffee break. Second, human capital. Building teams and leadership so that multiple people are pushing that boulder up the hill right alongside you. Third, financial capital. Using your money to make more money through investing in real estate. And fourth, media. Using content and social media to broadcast your value to the world. These 4 things, these are the real fulcrums for your effort. And here is the totally counterintuitive truth about scale. Leverage is what allows one person's work to reach millions of people simultaneously. It's really the only way to scale. Think about it like this. If you bake a cake, you can only sell it once. But if you write a line of code or record a piece of media, you can sell that exact same thing to 1 million people with 0 extra manufacturing effort. That is huge. When we analyze giants like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or Warren Buffett, you realize they definitely weren't overnight successes. Take Amazon, for instance. Bezos didn't just try to manually pack and sell more books out of his garage forever. He eventually built AWS, a massive tech lever, compounding his efforts over decades.
The core philosophy here is a focus on relentless innovation, brilliant business strategy, calculated risks, and deep, deep long-term thinking over the total myth of overnight success. But so what, right? What does this actually mean for you right now?
Let's get into it in Section 4, High Income Skills and Assets, Building Your Wealth Engine. All right, we need to shift from abstract theory to the actual, tangible tools you need. Before you can build massive systems, you have to acquire skills that the market values highly. We're talking about things like sales, marketing, communication, negotiation, leadership, programming, leveraging AI tools, or business strategy. And hey, don't panic. You absolutely do not need all of them. Just pick one. Pick one and master it. Why? Because mastering just one of these specific areas drastically increases your personal earning potential. It's the initial spark you need to generate the capital that will eventually fund your leverage.
Now, once you generate that high active income, you have to immediately transition it into passive assets. You're basically funneling your capital away from active service businesses and pouring it into stocks, real estate, and royalties. You use your high-income skills to buy or build assets that generate income over time, completely independent of your daily labor. That's the dream, right? Making money while you sleep.
Section 5, Avoiding Common Financial Mistakes, Guardrails for Wealth. So knowing what to do is really only half the battle. We also have to actively avoid the traps that keep most people stuck in the grind. I'm talking about pitfalls like chasing quick money, consuming instead of creating, the fear of failure, poor financial habits, not investing in your own learning, and a total lack of patience. The crucial point here is avoiding that get-rich-quick energy. You've got to train yourself to be a creator in this world rather than just a passive consumer. And you need the patience to let your systems actually compound.
Section 6. Your practical action plan, the execution blueprint.
Okay, let's bring this all together into an actionable manual you can start executing today. Step 1, learn just one valuable high-income skill. Step 2, use that skill to solve real problems for other people. Step 3, build a scalable system around that solution using the leverage of technology or human capital. Step 4, take the money that system generates and consistently, and I mean consistently, invest it into passive assets. Step 5, keep learning continuously to adapt to the market. And Step 6, think long-term and stay fiercely disciplined when things inevitably get tough. But before we wrap up, a quick, grounded reality check. $1 billion. Reaching this exact 10-figure threshold is incredibly rare. It relies on a perfect storm of timing, immense opportunity, flawless execution, and, let's be honest, a certain degree of luck. Our goal with this explainer isn't necessarily to guarantee billionaire status for everyone tuning in. It's about guaranteeing extraordinary financial freedom. And that brings us right back to our core thesis. Smart work directs your hard work toward higher impact opportunities. It absolutely does not replace it. True lasting wealth is a hybrid. It's the marriage of relentless, hard effort and brilliant systemic leverage. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you going to spend the rest of your life simply chasing money, trading your precious hours for dollars until you completely burn out? Or are you ready to shift your mindset, utilize leverage, and start creating real, scalable value? The choice is entirely yours. Listen, if you found this explainer valuable, make sure to subscribe to continue your journey into finance, business, and personal growth with us. Until next time, keep learning and start building.